One game away, people. Just one game away for FC Barcelona to reach the Champions League final. Just one game away against a toxic, disgusting master of the dark arts, Inter Milan, away at San Siro in Italia. Barcelona must get a win to reach the Champions League final. We're going in with the tie, 3-3, clean slate. Clean slate, no one has the advantage right now. Maybe Inter because we're playing at their crib, but besides that, no one has the advantage. It's a clean slate, either or. Either team can get through the final. This will be the most stressful, annoying, and intense match I've seen this whole season, for sure. Because it will determine if we either become champions of Europe, because if we get to the final, I'm so confident we can win it, or be depressed for another year. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona versus Inter Milan preview video. Here you go. We're going to quickly talk about the game, the lineups that I predict for both sides, and my sensations for the game, how I think the game is going to go overall, and who will be reaching the Champions League final, which will be played on Tuesday, which from now is 2 days. So, yeah, man, I'm so, you guys don't understand how much I'm shitting myself right now. I can already tell you, I'm going to stream this match, and I'm going to be completely and utterly shitting myself the whole match. Any cross, any long ball, any shot that they take, I'm going to completely shit myself. This game is going to be so stressful. It's going to be so annoying. But hopefully, and I pray, Barcelona can get through it. But man, I haven't felt like this in so long, especially in the Champions League night. Maybe it's since last year, probably in the quarterfinals against PSG. But besides that, it's been a very long time because the semifinals is completely different from the quarterfinals. But yeah, let's quickly talk about this, guys. Let's go over the lineups first. What I predict the lineups are going to be, and bear with me, okay? Just bear with me when I show you the lineups, because a lot of you might be like, "What the fuck are you doing with your life? What are you showing us right now?" But let's quickly go over the lineups. But this is what I think Barcelona will line up. Not think. Okay, let me rephrase it. This is what I would like to see Barcelona go out with against Inter Milan. We're seeing a couple changes here. So, Szczesny in goal, Eric Garcia, Ronald Rajo, Inigo Martinez, Gerard Martin, Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Rafinha. That's what I would like Barcelona to line up with for the second leg against Inter Milan. Now, hold on. Whoa. Bear with me. Just bear with me for a little bit. Let's quickly show the Inter Milan side. I think this is pretty much said and done. Who I think is going to play. Somewhere in goal, Bisek, Acerbi, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Cardinal Oglu, Mkhitaryan, Di Marco, Thuram, and Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro Martinez is the only one that I'm kind of iffy about because I've been seeing reports all day basically saying that he's going to come back for the game. I'm not 100% sure if he is or not. But let's just assume he is because every report is saying that he wants to force himself to come back for the game. So let's just assume he is and he'll start for this game. But besides that, everything else is the exact same lineup from what we saw in the first leg. All right, so let me explain myself. All right, let me explain myself because you're probably seeing a couple things here that you're probably thinking like, what are you thinking? What is going through your head right now? What the fuck are you doing? But let's go over it real quick. So Szczesny is the obvious one. Ter Stegen, buddy, you're not touching the pitch nowhere near in the Champions League. You're not playing till next year. We can all agree with that. Szczesny. The fullbacks, Gerard Martin and Eric Garcia, I think are pretty obvious just because we already know our fullback situation. Unfortunately, Alejandro Balde would not be making it for this game. At least that's what we've been seeing all day practically. He's not going to come back. Hansi Flick doesn't want to take the risk with him, which is understandable. And he's probably going to most likely come back for the game against Real Madrid in a Clásico on May 11th, which is an important game as well. So I wouldn't mind him coming back for that game. But I really, and I'm pretty sure we all really wanted him to come back for this game, which I would consider more important than the Madrid game. But Hansi Flick doesn't want to risk any relapse, any completely maybe potentially losing for the rest of the season, right? We need him for these last games, especially if we make the final, he'll be very important for us in the final to make that appearance. So I can understand that he's not going to take the risk. And Gerard Martinez, at this point, it's the guy that Hansi Flick has been trusting ever since Alejandro Balde got his injury. We've never seen any other player play there. We've seen Inigo Martinez play there, blah, blah, blah. But Gerard Martin, I think, is the guy that Hansi Flick trusts more right now. Because I've been seeing a lot of things on Twitter going around of what people think the lineup's going to be. Inigo on the left, Araujo playing as a right back, Cubarsí and Inigo. A lot of people going with different ideas of how they want to see this back line. But this is the one that I chose right here, okay? Cubarsí is obviously the main guy that a lot of people are thinking, like, how are you going to bench Pau Cubarsí? A generational talent. He's been amazing for us all season. We all know that the center back pairings that Hansi Flick has completely and utterly trusted throughout the whole season has been Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí. Yes, I understand that, but I'm going to tell you why. So at the end of my last video, I explained how, not my last video, but the video I made after the game against Inter Milan, I explained how we had, the positive about that game was that we had more to learn from, more to improve on, to beat Inter Milan rather than them from us. So what I meant by that is, if we fix mistakes that we made in that game, considering how they play, we can easily beat them. Not easily, but we can definitely beat them. While compared to us to them, like, it's going to be more difficult, because the only thing they can really learn from that game is completely try to lock down Lamine, don't let him touch the ball, don't let him play his game, and play more compact, play way more defensive than they did in the first game. Because when it comes to Barcelona and Inter Milan, they're completely different. You can say that Inter Milan are robotic. They're very systematic. They are very a system. They play in a system. They have their system, and that they live and die for that system, which is defensive, counterattack, fullbacks, cross. They don't have creative players like Barcelona. Because when we look back at the first game, we had multiple opportunities where we could have scored. We had multiple chances that we created out of nothing, like Dani Olmo, Fermin, Pedri, Lamine, especially Lamine for sure. But there's a difference between both sides. They don't have those creative players like we do. So we can cause more of an impact in different ways rather than them. We know how they play. We know what their idea is when they go in attack. They're going to hit you on the counter, use their fullbacks consistently, and go for crosses. If you nullify their fullbacks, they're going to play a long ball to Thuram or to Lautaro. They're going to bring it down and boom, do the same thing again. They have a system. We know. Every team knows how to play against them. It's just that it's difficult to do it because they execute it so well. I've compared to them to Atletico Madrid, the dark arts. They play the dark arts, but the difference is with them and Atletico Madrid is that they have better players, they have better individuals, and they are way more efficient. They are way more efficient. But it's literally the same thing. Like, this game is literally reminding me of the semifinals of the Copa del Rey against Atletico, where the first game we went, band for band, 4-4, 4-4 game, and then we went away to the Metropolitano. We beat them 1-0 from an early goal, like in the 20th minute, but then we were suffering that match. Like, we were suffering a lot during that match, and I'm going to assume that's what's going to happen for the second leg. It's a similar thing. But the idea is that we have to learn a lot. We had a lot to learn from that first game that if we improve on, we'll beat them rather than them from us, right? So one of the things we 100% learned from that game is that they cause a lot of dangers with their fullbacks, and they expose us a lot, even though when we try to play the high line. It's difficult to catch them offside. It's not because they have a lot of intelligent players who are efficient, and the quick football, the quick 1-2s, they catch the fullbacks a lot. We saw Martin get cooked a lot of times by Dumfries. Dumfries was a menace on this side. Di Marco not really in that first game against Koundé, but still, you give them that one opportunity, they cause you a lot of danger, right? But, so considering that, Ronald Araujo, I think, is the main guy that has to start for this game, because we saw Cubarsí staying here. Cubarsí, I think, struggled in that game. I don't think he was incredible. I don't think he was great in that game. He struggled a lot against Thuram. Even when Taremi came on, he struggled against him too, because they're tall, physical players, and it's going to be a challenge for Cubarsí. Now, that's why I think Araujo should play, so he can try and go toe-to-toe with Thuram, try to not let him get on the ball, because again, if we take away their fullbacks, they're going to focus on the strikers, they're going to focus in the middle, and we have to take them out of the game. So Araujo his main job is going to be to try to take Thuram out of the game. As much as, if they do, which they will, let's not get it twisted, they 100% will, we can try to be as perfect as possible. There's going to be one opportunity where they get through us. They're going to go through here. Their main game, cross. I would rather have Araujo as a last man here in the middle rather as a fullback, because if he's in his fullback, he's going to consistently just think about the left back, the fullback that he's going up against, not through the middle. Because if they get past him once, what's he going to do? He's not going to change the fullback because they're going to just put an immediate cross and then boom. We saw the cross that Dumfries made from to Mkhitaryan. He made it from deep. He didn't even try to get closer. We just whipped it in, a perfect cross, and Mkhitaryan scored. Thankfully offside, but he scored. That's the opportunities that can happen. So if Araujo gets cooked there, then what's he going to do? He's not going to chase the fullback. He's not going to catch up enough because the fullback will be smart enough, which in this case will be DeMarco, will be smart enough to, make a cross at the right time or just, do something different. But I would rather have Araujo, making the run, recovering through the middle because there was a lot of chances in that first game where they made crosses and they were very dangerous crosses where they could have scored. So we need Araujo there so we can recover in case Thuram or Lautaro run through and he can catch up to them. He's the quickest defender we have as a center back. And then, boom, try to end their attack. That's why I would rather have Araujo here over Cubarsí, the physical battle against Thuram, and the quick recoveries that he allows us from us. So because when I saw him holding his, I don't know, I think it was his hamstring or something against recently in our last game, I was like, shit, because I was 100% thinking in this game, Araujo has to start. And hopefully he does. Inigo Martinez, I'm starting with him instead of Cubarsí just because Inigo brings that leadership. He's the warrior. He makes great tackles as well. And having a left-footed left center back is better there than having Cubarsí. But the main thing we're gonna miss from Cubarsí is that distribution, the passing from the back. But I think at this point we have to try to play as safe as possible and have Araujo there. Eddie Garcia and Eddie Garcia is gonna have to play right back at this point. I think at this point Flick trusts him to play that fullback position because when we saw against Mallorca, he started as a right back and he did pretty well. He got an assist that game. He attacked well. I think he was better defensively than going forward. Then he came on against Inter when Jules Koundé got injured and he did pretty decently, not bad. It's just the main thing we're going to lose from Koundé and Eric Garcia is the attacking aspect of that fullback position. But besides that, defensively, I trust Eric Garcia and Hansi Flick has shown that he trusts him as well. So hopefully he steps up for that game. So that is the back line for me, why I'm going for it. All right, so now moving up. The attack line, this is basically, we already know this. Lamine, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres. That's our front three. We don't even have to talk about that. Lewa's going to come back for the game. Apparently, he's going to come back for the game. He's going to be on the bench. I don't think he's going to start. I don't think anyone can predict that he's going to start or should predict that he's going to start. He just came back for injury. There's no point of him starting. So the front three is pretty obvious. Now, when it comes to the midfield, this is the interesting part. This is the part where people might think I'm crazy. But Pedri and Frenkie de Jong, obvious ones. I don't think we should make a change there. I haven't seen anything about Gavi. I don't know if he actually got full on injured and he'll be out. I don't know what, but hopefully he's fit so he can come off the bench because Gavi will be needed for this game as well. Now, this is the one. This is the one people are looking at me crazy right now. Like, what are you thinking? What is going through your brain right now, motherfucker? Turn off the PC. Turn off everything. Don't ever make a video ever again. But hear me out. Just hear me out. So, for this game, I was thinking of starting Fermin Lopez over Dani Olmo. Okay, whoa, wait. Calm down. Let me explain really quickly. Why do I want to start Fermin Lopez over Dani Olmo? Do I think Fermin Lopez is a better player than Dani Olmo? No. I love Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo's a baller. I love Dani Olmo. Every time he's gotten injured, I just wanted him to come back because he is a great player. 100%. Fermin Lopez is a very good impact player. This whole season, he's really improved. He's made a great impact for us coming up in the bench. Even when he started, he's made some good appearances. But the reason I want to start him for this game is because we know what we get from Fermin. That erratic player who likes to press, has full of energy, likes to create things for himself. He has that confidence to go and attack the ball, go and attack the defense, likes to take random shots, shots on target, create danger for himself. He wants to do something. He wants to be very involved in the attack. And that's what I love about him. The main problem I have with Fermin is that sometimes he's a little bit too erratic. Sometimes he just rushes plays, rushes things. That's something he's going to have to work on. He's still a young guy, so he has plenty of time to work on it. He doesn't have that pausa, la pausa, thing about him like Pedri does, right? He's a little bit too, rash with his decisions sometimes. That's the main problem that I have about with him. But besides that, he's a threat going forward. He's a nuisance to go up against as a defender. So the main reason I want to play him, I want to start him, is because so he can go and attack as much as possible, create as much as he can, take shots if he wants. just be very frustrating for the defense of Inter Milan. They're going to have to suffer with him a little bit. And then during the second half, like let's say the 60th minute, Dani Olmo comes on. So what happens there? The players are tired. The Inter Milan defense is tired. They're a bit, more confused. They're a little bit, you have to be more wary because now they're seeing an erratic, high energy on the front foot kind of midfielder to now a more simplistic and more what you can say, more controlled, more calm, more technical midfielder coming on who will cause them even more danger. Now they're going to get more stressed. They're going to be like, what the? We just went from this guy who went crazy on us. Now we're going to go with this guy who's going to be even more of a nuisance to try and defend. Like, come on. Dani Olmo's going to be an amazing impact sub, bro. I can just already see it. Like, they're going to be very frustrated with him. And then a fresh Dani Olmo who's going to be, we already know how technical he is. He's going to dribble through them. And I can already see it, guys. I can already see him causing so much danger and being a nuisance for Inter Milan's defense in the second half rather than the first half. And we know in the second half, like, that's when the game is going to, probably slow down a little bit more. That's when the game is going to be, especially if we're tied. Let's say no one scores or one team is winning. That's when things are going to slow down a bit because then the other team is going to prioritize to defend, especially Inter Milan. If we go up first or if they go up first, they're just going to prioritize defending. So I would rather have that player who's more calm, more collected on the ball, who brings that pausa thing and that pausa aspect of as a player, rather than Fermin, who's going to be erratic and probably make bad decisions compared to what Dani Olmo can offer us coming off the bench. I think Dani Olmo will make more of an impact coming off the bench than he would starting this game because he's going to have it difficult either way because of how we already know how compact and how defensive Inter Milan play. And like I said at the beginning, I think Inter Milan are going to be a little bit more, tight in the box because we created and we made a lot of danger inside of the box where they left a lot of spaces. We saw Ferran's goal. They're going to be a lot more, tight in the box and give us less options. So I would rather have Dani Olmo coming as a sub because that's when the players are going to be tired. That's when they're probably going to be prone to make more mistakes, and Dani Olmo can take advantage of that. And again, the other aspect is just that we're going to probably need more control during the second half, be a little bit more calm, and Dani Olmo offers that more than Fermin. I think Fermin is still, like I said, too erratic, makes too many rash decisions sometimes. So I would rather have Dani Olmo. Call me crazy. I may be crazy. I don't think it's gonna happen though. Like I said, this is what I would want to see, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we will see Barcelona. I don't even know because I think Araujo should 100% start, but we will see Dani Olmo, and I'm going to. I don't know. I think Araujo should start. I have a feeling Hansi Flick will start Araujo. I just don't know he's gonna bench. Like I would assume it will be Cubarsí. I would assume the fullbacks he's gonna pick is Eric Garcia and Martin. This is what I would assume. But we don't know. But I think Dani Olmo will 100% start. Like that idea I just gave. Like I would like to see that. I would like to see something like that happen. Have Fermin be a starter, cause as much danger, be a nuisance, and then have Dani Olmo come in, be more calm on the ball, and then cause that danger through that. But yeah, call me crazy, but that's what I think. All right, now getting into the game overall. How do I think this game is going to go? I can tell you, again, it's going to be a dogfight. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a pretty evenly match in where Barcelona will probably hold on to a little bit more on the ball, but I think it's going to be, a matter of how both teams play and how they play throughout the season, right? Barcelona trying to be in control, trying to be on the front foot, play that high line, and try to score quick goals, while Inter Milan play reserved. They wait, they hit you on the counter, and try to get goals from there. But do I think it's going to be similar to the first game where it's going to go, head, toe-to-toe like that and scoring all those goals? I don't think so. I think Barcelona should have learned from the mistakes they made from the first game, which one of them has to be set pieces. That's the one thing we massively need to improve for this game, because if we don't, we're screwed. We're screwed. We have to be more physical. We have to be more present. We have to be more aware in the box, because they scored 2 corner kicks and that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. Szczesny has to be more aware. If he has the opportunity to get the ball, because it wasn't like in those in those corner kicks that they were surrounding him or anything, not giving him space to come out. But he has to be more aware of that. And we know that their game plan with the corners, hit it to the back post, hit it near the back post to where Dumfries, Bisek, and all those players are. So he has to be more aware of that as much as the players as well. Like they cannot allow those things, those opportunities to happen. Not only corners, just any type of set piece. We cannot allow those moments, those dangers to happen. Like we have to be more. I mean, we have to be more present in the box. The physical awareness has to be more present. So hopefully we improve on that. But the other thing we need to 100% be on point with is our high press, because Inter Milan are a very press resistant team. They're very good at getting away from the press. That's their game plan. They like to play 1-2 go, 1-2 go, 1-2 over the top, 1-2 through pass. That's their game plan. That's how they want to attack under the opposition, and they do it very effectively. Like they're very efficient when it comes to doing those things. So if we're going to press high, we have to do it with full-on confidence that we're going to recover the ball the moment we press them. We cannot allow them to get out of it, because if they do, we're screwed. They're going to get through us, and they're going to score, and then we're fucked. Like, it's going to be a difficult thing to do. It's going to be a difficult task for sure, but we have to be aware, we have to be on point, and we have to just be amazing in our press. We have to suffocate them, because we already know why we play the high line. The reason we play the high line is to keep them in their side, suffocate them, try to make them lose the ball, and then be just, hit them on that, recover the ball, and then hit them. Try to score a goal. And that's the thing we're gonna have to be perfect on against Inter Milan, because we saw it in the first leg. In the first half, we were very good in the press, and then in the second half, they started to wake up and they started to attack us a lot more, and that's when they started creating a lot more danger. So we have to be on point with the press, 100% on point. The other thing, other players have to step up. We cannot rely only on Lamine, because we already know their game plan is going to be do not let Lamine touch the ball, and if he does touch the ball, put 5 on him. They're going to go all on him. They cannot allow Lamine to do anything if they don't want to get scored on. They know that. So since we know that now too, other players have to step up. Ferran, Rafinha, Pedri, Dani, Olmo, Fermin, all the players have to step up, because we can't just fully rely on Lamine, because if that's the case, then we're screwed. We're screwed. They know that Lamine's the biggest impact player. He's the biggest game changer. So we need other players to step up. And I'm mostly looking at Rafinha, because, okay, I like the numbers. I like that he's scoring. I like that he's assisting in some games. But the performances from minute 1 to minute 90 have not impressed me. They have not been good ever since international break. I'm not going to repeat myself of what I've been saying these last couple of videos, but it's the truth. So I expect this game him to just step up. I want him to step up. We need him to step up. Like, try to take more risks. Try to take on your defender. Try something, because we know that left side is going to be very quiet if Gerard Martin hides away. Hopefully, Hansi Flick gives him the confidence and tells him, yo, go attack more, because against Real Valladolid, Martin put in some great balls, some great passes in the final third. So hopefully he gets that confidence from that game and, transmits it into this game against Inter. But at the same time, Rafinha has to be more present on the left side. We can't just fully switch all the way to the right side and expect Lamine to just save us. We can't have that happen. Rafinha has to step up this game. He has to massively. Ferran, the little chances he gets, he has to score them. He has to be clinical this game. He cannot waste those opportunities, because we saw in that first half he had 2. He could have probably scored. Like, the second one was harder. Like, it was, more of a volley that it was hard to hit. If that went in, that would have been so impressive. But the first one where Lamine set him up, like, he has to hit it. Like, he has to hit it quick. Like, the reason he hit it bad and hit it out is because he took a bad first touch. Besides that, he could have done better there. So we have to be way more efficient. Any little chance we get, we have to score, because we already know the game plan is going to be defend. It's going to be difficult in general to try to create anything. And again, like I said, the press players have to step up. When it comes to Inter Milan side, they're just going to go with the same game plan. Now, like, they're going to go with the same game plan. There's not really any change that I see that they can really make, because they're not going to change any of their players. They're going to go with the same 11. Like, they literally rested all their players in the weekend game against Verona. Like, none of their starter players played at all. Like, some of the players came on as subs, but at that point, like, it didn't really matter. Like, they already won the game. Like, they're way more rested than we were, because we went down against Real Valladolid very early, and we had to bring our starters in so they can get us back into the game, because we need to still fight for the league as much as they do, for sure. But they just have more leeway because they were more secure and they got the win early on, right? But so they're more rested than us for sure for this game, but I don't think that should be an excuse. For to be honest, that shouldn't really be an excuse. It's just a matter that they're going to be a little bit more rested, but it doesn't really, I don't think it's going to really change anything. It's not going to really change the game plan and how we should, go up against them. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a back and forth like we saw the first game. I don't think so. Hopefully not, because my heart couldn't take it. My heart would not be able to take that shit. That's going to be so stressful because that first game was stressful. Imagine this one. I expect it to be like I said. This reminded me against the game that we played against Atletico. It's reminding me of that, and I think it's going to be similar. I think it's going to be similar where we're going to hold on a lot to more on the ball. We're going to be more on the front foot probably in that first half or second half, whichever one. But Inter Milan will go on, to attack us a lot more as well because they're playing at home. They're going to want to impress for sure. So, this is tough to predict, bro. This is so tough to predict because this matchup is just insane. This is an insane matchup, guys. I really did not expect it to go this way, like the way it did in that first leg. It's really an incredible matchup between these two clubs who completely different tactics, completely different way of play. It's just, and they went toe to toe with each other. Like obviously Inter Milan went away in that first leg happy with the tie. We were more disappointed for sure because we should have gotten more from that game, but it's a tie at this point. Like any team can take it. I think both teams will score. I think they will score on us as much as we'll score on them. I think we'll score first. They're going to be a lot more open. They're going to start attacking us a lot more, try to get goals. I think they will get a goal, maybe from a set piece, or I think it will be for a set piece because I think we'll learn from the way that they play with their fullbacks and the crossings, and we'll be way more aware of that. We'll try to perfect the high line as much as possible, and just take away those chances, right? So I think will come from a set piece, a corner or something, a free kick. I think will come from one of those. And then I think around maybe the 75th, 74th, with 15 to 20 minutes left in the game, we'll score somehow. I don't know how. I really don't know how. Maybe just Alamin wonder goal or something happens, but we score. And then from there on, we'll just suffer. We'll just suffer for the last 20, 30, whatever, extra time is added. We'll suffer for the rest of the match. They'll have clear opportunities. Szczesny makes a wonder save. A goal line clearance. I just know we'll suffer. We'll suffer, and then we hold on to the game, to the win, and then we get to the final. That's how I predict this is gonna go. I can't tell you specifically how the goals are gonna be scored. Maybe who I can tell you. I feel like Ferran will score, and I feel like I want to say Rafinha. I want to say Rafinha and Ferran will score this game. I think Lamine will create a lot of danger and create a lot of chances. But I'm assuming these others. I'm gonna say the other two hasn't going to score up top, and then from their ends I'll say a little happy moment for Lautaro Martinez. He scores a goal somehow. A little set piece or something. But yeah, that's how I think it's going to go. I think we're going to suffer a lot. I think this game is going to be the most sufferable match that we've had all season for sure because we already had one hell week. Like anyone that's an OG from this channel, we had a hell week in October where we played Bayern Munich for the Champions League group stage, and then in that weekend we played at the Bernabeu for the Clásico, for the league. And now this is our second, you could say, second hell week of this season where we're playing same thing, Champions League and a league match, but these two matter 10 times more than the ones in October because we're in the semifinals this time against Inter Milan, and we're fighting for the league. Like literally, this 100% could be the decider for the league. Well, more for us than them, but it could be a decider for the league title because if we win, we at that point would have won that league, and if they beat us, they're closing way more the margin of what we could have had. But yeah, this is another hell week, and we're going to have to suffer through it. Either it will be like October where we celebrated that week, we beat Bayern and Madrid, or it will be a complete 360, and we'll suffer this week and be very, very disappointed. Because I can tell you right now, I would happily beat Inter Milan, get to the final, and lose 3-4-0 to Real Madrid in the weekend. I would happily take that. Because at that point, we'll be 1 point away from them in the league. Yeah, we'll have to suffer for the rest of the league to, gain the points to win the league for sure. We drop one more point, we're fucked. It's over. But I would rather reach the final with guaranteed and then suffer in the weekend against Madrid. I don't care. I'd rather reach the final. Because if Arsenal or PSG in the final, I don't care who. I'm so confident we can beat them. I'm so confident this team can do it. And hopefully they do, guys. Hopefully this weekend we see Barcelona or this week, we see Barcelona reach the Champions League final, bro. I hate that it's on Tuesday, bro. I hate when these games are on when the second leg is on Tuesday. I hate it because it just brings so much stress. It just brings so much stress because you're gonna be the first ones up. You're the first ones up to see. And, Arsenal and PSG fans have an extra day to be more calm and think about it a little bit more. While we have to, like that. 2 more days, people. 2 more days. But yeah, man. Please, Barca, please. Please, I beg, bro. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about everything I've said throughout this video. How do you think the game will go? Who do you think will be the goal scorers? What do you think the final scoreline will be? And who will ultimately reach the Champions League final? Which team would be the first one to reach the Champions League final of this 24-25 season? Vamos, please, Barca, please. Remember, I will be streaming that match, so make sure to tune in for that. I'll be on to watch the entirety of the match, so you guys can either watch me be happy, we get to the final, or watch me suffer and cry and be depressed for a good 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, let me know all those things down in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for every time we upload. Share to your friends that love football, and I'll see you on Tuesday. VISCA Barça, let's fucking do this. I love you. Barca.